Hey everybody, Spongy Gay. I'm back with more reviews from the final week of DC's New 52. First up, we have Batman: The Dark Knight. I don't know what was dark about it. I have to look at, there's the sun in the background. Is that the sun or the moon? This is the only Batman comic that didn't have a swarm of 1 million bats in the background, so you got to give it that. He still looks brooding. I don't know what he's thinking about. A new cocktail party that he has to attend in tuxedo as millionaire Bruce Wayne, with a bunch of people in like 70s disco clothes, women in 70s disco clothes and men in tuxedos, in giant expanses, like giant convention centers. Really important, quote-unquote, rich people things that he does. There was an interesting, I am a Tea Party person, there was an interesting piece in the National Review last week about comic book superheroes and visions of wealth. And they went over the superheroes who are wealthy, characters like Batman and Iron Man, and they found that they were heirs to money and focused more on science and technology, that they weren't interested in economics, that they weren't interested in the business aspect. They were basically, they couldn't help it. They inherited it all, and they were interested in science and noble pursuits. Whereas the new money characters were villains, characters like Lex Luthor, the Kingpin, the Green Goblin, were rich people who were self-made, and they were all presented as evil. This is like the liberal vision, that the old money must control us, and that we must ensure through socialism that there is no more new money. It's all about class stasis and protecting old money. That's the bottom line for socialism, and people who go along with it are saps. And I was thinking about that when I was reading this new Dark Knight book. This picture of Bruce Wayne and how tired it is. How it's so played out. Who cares? Who cares about this character anymore? This character is a fossil. I can't believe I'm just over Batman. I feel like I never want to read another Batman comic again as long as I live. This one has the dinner sequence at the Grand Hyatt, and I'm sure they were eating rubber chicken, and they're all standing around doing I don't know what, having witty repartee in tuxedos. It has that for like 15 pages. And then it has another breakout at Arkham Asylum. It's got to be the second or third this month, I swear. And all the villains that just escaped in the last one, just all escaped again. And it's so funny, whenever they do that, okay, there's a couple of things about the Arkham Asylum breakouts that they do, okay? For one thing, why do they all have their super villain costumes on when they're in supposedly a mental health facility? They all have their costumes and their regalia all on. Second of all, if any one of them were individually free, it'd be like a 6-issue miniseries. But for some reason, Batman can beat them all at once when there's 20 of them all there. Whatever. I mean, I had literally just seen the same setup like the Batman before this. Or was it the Batman before that? Enough. It's too divorced from reality, and it just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. I was not interested in this comic at all. Next. I, Vampire have had it. Look at how provocative these characters are. These scanty outfits. I don't know what is holding hers up. He almost looks like he has a bra on, doesn't he? You can't even quite tell that it's a man. Looks like a Rachel Maddow. And everybody has a white streak in their hair. I thought that I, Vampire was kind of interesting. I think it has potential. I know a lot of people really like the art. I should say that it's by Joshua Hale, Fialco, and Andrea Sorrentino. I thought that at least it was fresh, at least it was new. Although, I mean, if you can call vampires new. But they seemed, as far as I could tell, to be new characters in the DC universe. There's a vampire war brewing. I still don't completely understand why. The artwork, almost, it looks like the comic book version of rotoscoping. A lot of photo stuff, a lot of photo tracing. I still thought some of it was effective, but there were times when I was confused by it, when I couldn't quite tell what was happening. Still, it has a look all of its own, and there's something to be said for that. I don't know. I'll probably get the next one to see where this goes. Here's the thing that I really like about it. I like the fact that DC is introducing an entire race of vampires into their universe. I love the fact that there's going to be a vampire war raging in the DC universe. I love the fact that they made reference to the superheroes and how they ruined the world for the vampires in this book. I like the fact that DC has really integrated supernatural storylines into their universe. Before, they always had great supernatural books. All through the 70s, they had the best supernatural books. And it was one of the things that DC had over Marvel. You know, Marvel had, like, Man-Thing, which was so tacky, and Tomb of Dracula, which is vulgar. DC had things like Swamp Thing and House of Mystery. And just really great, you know, that whole kind of supernatural approach to comics. It was just so cool. And, you know, the stories, I can remember feeling incredibly sophisticated reading them, and they were always so edgy and interesting. And it's really great that DC has kept that, you know, the Witching Hour, there were so many of them, that they've integrated that whole kind of, you know, realm into the DC universe so that they're going to be interacting with the superheroes. More on that in a future vlog. So that, I think, was a terrific success. And I will give iVampire another chance, even though I don't seem to be as excited about it as some of the critics. Maybe I was expecting too much. I would still give iVampire a B-. Finally, in this vlog, we have Voodoo #1. And speak of the devil, this comic is really unusual. It's very unusual. It's by Ron Mars and Sami Basri. Excuse me if I mispronounce people's names. This opened, and it was like Showgirls. It was literally like Showgirls, with strippers crawling. The opening panel, the opening page, splash page, has a stripper crawling on the floor for money. The DC New 52 had some incredible high points with women characters, specifically Batwoman, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl were all top drawer women characters. Then there were kind of sexist characters that were still not completely embarrassing, like Batgirl. But then we had really super sexist characters like Catwoman. Super sexist books like Catwoman. Birds of Prey I thought was fair to middling, and it had potential, so we're not going to pass judgment on that one yet. And Voodoo seems to be one of those Catwoman comic books, and yet it seems also to have more going on for it at the same time. The artwork was really beautiful. The character is new. I'm not going to tell you everything about her because we're not sure yet at this point ourselves. The ending is a surprise, and you know, there's only so many things that they can do with these comic book characters. That said, I still think that it was effectively done. And so I'm probably going to check out Voodoo #2 to check out what happens to this character. I also like the fact that it's a new female character in the DC universe. So, and she's got her own book. So we'll see what happens. There's just a lot of like typical showgirls, you know, tough talking gals, strippers, pole dancers. At the same time, there's no nudity. And it's the setting for a story that makes sense. And we're also not sure if that setting is going to continue in the next issue. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully Voodoo will go on to other scenarios, because it does have some interesting potential. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I think that that's going to be it for this one. And like I say, I'm going to be doing one final one tonight, and then tomorrow I'll probably post my wrap-up vlog about the entire month of DC New 52 #1. Small G Gay, signing out.